in my teaching kitchen where I've been teaching Italian food culture for the last 8 years. We share a lot of tips and tricks here and a lot of information on ingredients, and I want to share it with you now at home so that you can apply these things to your dishes at home and get some great results. Okay, one of the things that I get a lot of questions about are San Marzano tomatoes. Okay, so what are they? How do you know if they're real, etc., etc.? So let's talk about that, and then we'll give you the information so that when you're out choosing your ingredients, you can decide whether or not, number one, are they real San Marzano tomatoes, and number two, whether they will add something to your dish. Okay, so first of all, a San Marzano tomato is an actual variety of tomato. Okay, so this is one out of my garden. It's not super ripe. We're at the tail end of the season here, but typically it's got the little point on the end. It's elongated, similar to a Roma tomato, but it is typically round and then it comes in skinny, but the distinctive point is often what will give it away. Okay, so it's a beautiful variety of tomato, very few seeds, really meaty, really juicy tomato, great for sauces. Okay, so number one, it's a variety of tomato, just along with other varieties. Okay, so when people talk about the San Marzano tomato and being the best tomato, what exactly are they talking about? Are they talking about the variety, or are they talking about something else? Okay, so number one, depending on where you live and where you're growing these, they can be fantastic. I'm in Canada, so we have a very short growing season. Okay, so we grow these in my backyard. I can them, I use them fresh, and they're delicious. They're wonderful tomatoes. But are they the absolute best tomatoes in terms of in the world? Probably not, because they're grown here in Ontario, in Canada, where, like I said, we have a very limited growing season. Now, if you take this same variety of tomato and grow it in Italy, just outside of Naples, in the very rich soil of Mount Vesuvius, then you have a superior product, okay? And that is really what the king of the tomatoes is about. That is the San Marzano tomatoes that people rave about, okay? So for someone like myself in North America, the only way for me to acquire those tomatoes is to get them in a tin, okay? So how do I know if they're real? I've got a brand here. This is not a paid endorsement. This is just a particular brand that I really like. But I really need to show you the can, or a can, in order for you, the consumer, to know exactly what you are buying. Because there are a lot of fraudulent tomatoes out there, okay? A lot of companies trying to pass off their tomatoes as the San Marzano. So I want you to make an informed choice, okay? So first and foremost, you need to ensure that they are San Marzano tomatoes of Agro Sarnese Nocerino DOP. Okay, so what does that mean? This is exactly where they're coming from. They're coming from the Agro Sarnese Nocerino region, okay? That's exactly where they're coming from. The DOP is a designation that not just tomatoes have, but a lot of European products have the designation of the DOP, so you know that they are the real deal, okay? So they're usually a top variety that have followed rules and regulations, recipes of many years past, and it's regulated to ensure that all these things are met, and they are in fact that type of product that would therefore require their seal, okay? So I'm going to show a huge close-up picture of this little DOP seal that you must have on the tin if it is in fact a DOP San Marzano tomato from this region, okay? So a couple of things. It needs to tell you where they were grown, and it needs to have that DOP symbol on it, okay? Believe it or not, there are companies out there that are disguising their product with the name San Marzano in their brand, but then they identify, if you read the label, they're actually Roma tomatoes, okay? They even have a symbol that is a fake symbol, some made up symbol they've made that they want you to think it's the DOP symbol when in fact it's not, okay? So this is very, very important because this is a premium product. You're gonna pay a little bit more for it, but I can tell you it is amazing, okay? Very sweet, not really acidic, very few seeds, very red, very juicy. The liquid that surrounds it is a thick juice. It's not a watery liquid at all. So where would you use this? You would use these tomatoes where tomatoes are the star of the recipe. Okay, so if you're doing a simple tomato basil sauce, you would want to use these tomatoes because they will be so delicious, along with some really good quality extra virgin olive oil and some beautiful fresh basil. Just a simple recipe. That's where these would shine. Okay, they would also shine on a pizza margherita, which is also very simple. You just have your thin crust pizza with your Marzano tomatoes, your San Marzano tomatoes, your extra virgin olive oil, some fresh mozzarella di bufala, and some fresh basil. Very simple ingredients, but this is where you'd want to use this really high-end quality product. Now, on the flip side, if you were making a stew or a soup where tomatoes were not the star ingredient, it was just one ingredient along with many others, it wouldn't be necessary to use a product like this, especially if it's going to stew or cook for a long time. You really won't appreciate the high quality in this variety of a tomato. So I hope that answers your questions, and I hope that keeps you safe from the fraudulent tomatoes out there. So enjoy, and I hope to see you back. Please follow us on our YouTube channel, on Facebook or Instagram, and I really hope to see you back in the kitchen. Ciao for now.